Today, we're going to be talking about Cleveland as a destination investment opportunity. Before we get started on the education about the Cleveland market, I'd just like to go through a few announcements to get you abreast of what's happening with Black Belt investors and how you can get involved. Number one, if you're interested in furthering your education on your own time, then we have a destination called the Dojo where you can log in 24 hours, 7 days a week and learn more about rehabbing and lease options and wholesaling and fix and flips and buy and hold strategies and so much more. Plus, there's a ton of free forms and agreements and contracts and tutorials and videos, and all of our webinars are archived there as well. So if you're interested in learning more about real estate investing for the cost of what you pay for Netflix each and every month, then jump on to blackbeltinvestors.com, click on Enter the Dojo, and get started today. You'll absolutely love it. Plus, those that belong to the dojo also receive discounts on different activities that we have coming up. For an example, our tour that's coming up next month, they get a $20 discount for being part of the dojo. So a lot of cool things. Secondly, we have our real estate investment workshop known as Kickstart, which is a basic training. So if you want to learn more about the niche fields of real estate pertaining to buy, fixing, and flipping, wholesaling, lease options, wraparound mortgages, subject to financing, we're going to spend about the first half of the day learning all about the different niches that you can apply in today's market on how to create cash. Then the second half of the day, well, we're going to be focusing more on the buy and hold strategies, what it takes to become an investor, how to work with property management, how to acquire these profitable rental properties. And so a one full day workshop for those that are just wanting to seek more information so they can make an educated decision of which niche they're going to get into and how to build their real estate portfolio. It's a one-day training. It's going to be held in Buena Park in Orange County on May 18th. That's a Saturday, May 18th, and we'll run from about 9:30 to 5 o'clock in the afternoon. You can go right over to the phone and call in and register. You can also go to blackbeltinvestors.com, click on the events page, and that will have a link there where you can register as well. Okay? Now, let's get into Cleveland as an investment destination. Are you ready? I'm going to give you a chock full of information about the Cleveland market and why we love Cleveland and what it has done for us and our investors, and possibly it's a destination spot for you as well. So how does Cleveland stack up as an investment destination? A lot of people ask me that all the time. Why invest there? How does it compare to other options? What can the investors expect, and what should they be looking for in a good investment in Cleveland? Those are all great questions, but I can tell you right now that Cleveland is definitely one of my favorite destinations for real estate investments. It's one of my favorite cities as well, not just for real estate, but just as a city alone. You know why? A whole slew of reasons, but just recently in January, they rated the top 50 most beautiful cities in the world. And I'm sure a lot of them pop up in your mind, Rome and France and places, Paris and places like that. Cleveland came in at number 48. Can you believe that? That's because Cleveland has gone through such a renovation and has done so well to attract, anywhere from millennials to baby boomers. So it's definitely one of my favorite destinations to visit. And Cleveland offers more fun, better fundamentals than a whole lot than most realize. So of course, we can't just invest in what we love today, can we? Otherwise, I'd only invest in my own backyard or Hawaii, and we'd never travel to, discover new destinations and new opportunities. There's a lot of great reasons why all investors need to invest outside of their home areas. It doesn't matter where we live or, or have started, how we started investing. In fact, even if you live in Cleveland, you might want to think about investing outside of your area and out of the state, as well as locally. But if you aren't in Cleveland, I consider it one of the best places to get started and expand your portfolio. We invest out of state for many reasons, so let me get into it. One of the most vital reasons is the diversification. Diversification helps protect against natural disasters like wildfires and earthquakes like we see in California all the time, right? As well as ensuring consistency and flexibility as the markets change. Now, price also makes a huge difference. Property prices in some areas are just too prohibitive to enable investors to start and grow investments. Sometimes the value just isn't there. Sometimes prices are too high for the buyers and resale potential. Take a look at the photo on the left. It will cost you more to get this room in Berkeley, California, than to get that whole house over onto the right side in Cleveland, Ohio. There's just markets that are just too expensive. It's out of the reach. It doesn't make number sense. There's no way you're going to cash flow. We should all be aware of market cycles, and we should be aware of them by now, especially many of you have lived through several different market cycles. There can be opportunity in all phases of the market. I don't just buy when the market is down in the dumps. And I don't just buy when the market's okay. I buy all the time because there's opportunities in every phase of the market cycle. There's wisdom in consistently investing all the time. Yet most of us want to invest with the best prospects in security and growth. Right now, I'd pose that we're not going to find much of that in the super hot prime neighborhoods of Manhattan or San Fran. Maybe 9 years ago, but not right now. Income property investors need cash flow. We all need residual income. It's once our residual income exceeds our expenses that we become financially free. And there's so many markets right now where you can't finance a property and hope to make it cash flow. Or where you can't flip and leave room for the next buyer to make cash flow. No cash flow means you have to work and earn money somewhere else to pay to keep the property. That's a negative return. That's a no-no. So we are looking at destinations that can deliver strong positive cash flow, pad the bank account, have more money in your wallet. Cleveland's trending. That's why it became 48th best city in the world. It's super cool, and that's really important to us investors as well. Some great investments can be really boring, yet interesting destinations has its benefits, doesn't it? That creates appeal for tourists, for workers, and other investors just like yourself. All that increases demand for short-term and long-term housing, as well as boosts the local economy. And a lot of people haven't been to Cleveland, so what is it like? Here's some clips from one of our recent investors tours in Cleveland. Off to the left-hand side, Friday night before the tour, hanging out at the Indians baseball game, walking distance. In the center, the day after a tour, here we are at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, again, walking distance. On the top right-hand side, that Sunday evening, we're hanging out at the Cavaliers basketball game. Again, everything's walking distance. In the bottom right corner, well, that's our clan that toured Cleveland during the investors tour. We just absolutely have a blast because there's so much to offer in the Cleveland market. Not only that, Cleveland has an awesome restaurant scene. You can't go anywhere without bumping into a super cool, swanky type of restaurant. It also has really cool architecture, anywhere from modern to the oldest indoor mall in America. A vibrant art scene with modern and classic museums. And what about the sports? I mean, you hear about the Indians in the playoffs and World Series, the Cavaliers the same. Not so much for the Browns. I know they get the booby prize, but they are all about sports in Cleveland. So something's always happening downtown. It's super fun. This is where everybody hangs out. I don't care if it's a Saturday or if it's a Wednesday. It is busy like this all the time. Cleveland has also proven to be very innovative too. That's a critical element when that separates the cities, which can keep reinventing themselves and remaining magnetic and sustainable for those that fade out. The downtown is fun. The cutting-edge Cleveland Clinic, university hospitals, and even several entrepreneurial tech startup spaces abound the Cleveland market. Cleveland has proven to consistently be a top performer in creating jobs, and that's only growing. In fact, job has increased by 12.6% in the last year. Economic diversity is extremely important as well. We all saw what happened to Detroit when it became too reliant on the auto manufacturing scene. Well, Cleveland has, these top 100 employers. And these are brands that we all recognize. And their home base is Cleveland, Ohio. Here we can see a lot of what Cleveland has to offer. From the waterfront to, these are some of our favorite neighborhoods. Let me show you on the next map. So let me get a highlighter. Let me find it real quick. All right. So now you should be able to see my highlighter. This is going to be the downtown area of Cleveland, where I was showing you the stadiums and fun places to do. This is the west side, and this is the east side. Now, Black Belt Investors really focuses mostly from the south of here, Garfield Heights, trekking all the way around the suburbs to the city of Euclid, which is up here, which is on the water line up here. So mostly it's this backwards C, or this semicircle here, is what we focus on, is in the suburbs. We do work some of the areas of Cleveland, which you can see in the red line is Cleveland proper, of everything inside this red line. There are certain pockets that we do work in the Cleveland area, but the majority of the stuff is on the outskirts. Now, from downtown to the suburbs will take you 12 minutes up by freeway. It's amazing. It's closer than what you think. But this is where everybody works, and this is where everybody lives. Okay? Now, Cleveland has all types of real estate, from commercial business, obviously, to multifamily apartments, which we also supply to investors, and suburban single-family homes, which is most of what our investors are purchasing today. Black Belt Investors' property platform is residential houses to small multi-units like fourplexes to large apartment complexes. We basically have it all. The number one most important factor in real estate destination is affordability. That affects value, it affects growth prospects, cash flow, and a downside protection. That doesn't just mean cheap, by the way, because you must have jobs and demand too. But if you could only pick one factor to invest on, it's probably going to be the affordability factor. Number one, it always must be affordable to you before you can start investing, right? Then it's got to be affordable to the tenant, and it's got to be affordable to the next buyer if you decide to sell later down the road. Check out the median home sales price that I just pulled up. According to Zillow, on February 28th, properties are averaging $59,200. That's an average sales price. And this is within the city of Cleveland, the Cleveland proper. This is not on the outskirts. So with these properties, all these home sales in the Cleveland proper, which accounts for many low-income cities, but our properties are located in the suburbs. Working class neighborhoods are better. And this is the average price that we sell for. So you can see the market is affordable, plus Black Belt Investors offers true value. Again, Zillow here demonstrates that the rental index for a 3-bedroom house averages about $895, which is spot on for a standard tenant. And rent is up by $45 from last year. Now, you don't have the option, or let me back up. You do have the option to rent to a standard tenant, which would be like someone like you and I that just pays cash every month. Or the other option is to rent to Section 8 or Eden, which is a similar program to Section 8, and earn an approximately $100 more per month. Currently, the vacancy rate in Cleveland is actually below 3%, which is a phenomenal low percentage compared to the rest of the U.S. And this is not a recent vacancy. This has been going on for the last 2 years. Why? Because there is demand for housing. So here's a recent deal. Now, this property here was, purchased by an investor, and this is, right around 80 grand for this house. It's a beautiful house in a beautiful neighborhood. And their reason to buy this was they actually met the 1% rule, and many of our houses will exceed the 1% rule. But this house met the 1% rule, but they were buying location. They were buying exit strategy, and they were buying appreciation. But the property produces an 11% return on investment, strictly on the cash flow side. Here's another. So that's the same house on the left-hand side, but on the top right-hand corner, that property you can pick up for about 50 grand. The property in the middle, you're probably looking at about $63,000 all brick. And the property on the bottom right, that's going to be a 70,000 plus property. They're all going to generate somewhere between 10 and 11% cash on cash. That's assuming you pay all cash. That number, that percentage jumps up quite a bit if you purchase using a loan. So Cleveland's property prices are some of the most affordable in the nation. You can buy 10 to 20 rental homes here for the price of one in many other places, right? So if you live in New York, how much is that house going to cost you? Exactly. If you live in, Northern California, what is that property going to cost you? $1 million? You can buy 20 in Cleveland for that price. So as you can see from this graph, local house prices have a long way to go up, to hit their previous heights. While some of the markets have already hit that level. In fact, some of the markets are now starting to taper off, aren't they? As you can see here, Cleveland began, getting hit with foreclosures before 2008. That number is way down, way down. However, there's still opportunities for grabbing distressed properties. In fact, Black Belt Investors is only buying foreclosed properties. They just seem to come in these waves, and with the right sources, there's a lot of deals out there, but many will need a good amount of rehab and a good team to keep those costs down. So here's a deal we recently put under contract with a client. Property is $69,000 purchase price. That means turnkey, rent ready, passed all the city inspections. They used the leverage of a loan and acquired the property with a loan, had to put 20% down, which is $13,800, but they pull in $1,000 a month. After all expenses said and done, they're profiting $3,132 annually. That's an annual net income. That's an extra $3,000 in their pocket. But the cash on cash return, check out that number, 22.7%. Where are you going to earn that type of return? Cleveland. That's why our investors love this area. Here's another one. That's $58,000 purchase price. Pulls in $900 a month in rents after all expenses. the investor paid cash with this property is producing a 10.5% cash on cash for this investment. It's phenomenal. That doesn't include the appreciation. That doesn't include the tax benefits that you get to acquire. That's strictly just on the cash flow side. That's $6,100 a year. That's a little over $500 per month net cash flow. Could you use an extra $500 per month? In fact, are your investments of $58,000 right now producing an extra $500 per month? Probably not. So how to invest in Cleveland? Well, there's several different ways that we can approach this. We can use private money lending. So if you've got a rich uncle, I was speaking to someone yesterday that has a mother that's got money sitting around in a CD, losing money, so they're going to cash it out and team up and work together. So you can tap into private money sources. You can also do it yourself. You can get out there and start buying properties, fixing them up and flipping them. You have to have the know-how, you have to have the credit and the capital. But if you've got it, then get it going and start making some quick cash. For me, that's how we do it at Black Belt Investors. We flip properties, and the money that we make pays expenses, pays bills, and we always take a portion of that and move it over so we can start buying rental properties. One is a cash machine, the other one is a portfolio builder. That way, you can start putting some money together, whether you're coming with private money lending, hard money lending, conventional lending, or you do it yourself through wholesaling and fix and flipping. Start making the cash and moving it over into acquiring your turnkey rentals. So we've created Remote Rehabs, which has been working for thousands of investors since the year 2000. Here's how it works. We find the property, you buy it, we fix it, we get it rented, and you start collecting mailbox money. Simple as that. There's a lot of benefits to remote rehabs. We've got local boots on the ground. I've got employees on the ground working every single day except for Sunday. We have many clients with hundreds of properties done in Cleveland, in the Cleveland area. We've done thousands and thousands nationwide, but Cleveland, we've done hundreds and hundreds, and many who just keep coming back to buy more. They either buy their properties all cash, get the property stabilized, do a cash out refi, buy another, or they pull money out of their retirement accounts. They try one, they love it, they go out and buy more. So if you'd like to check out, Cleveland for yourself, you should come and join us on the Ultimate Investors Tour. This is the time where we're going to meet local real estate professionals, and then we'll go tour the neighborhoods. Then we'll get out and take a look at some live deals, and ones that we've recently done and fix up, some in progress, and some exclusive new opportunities for those that join the tour. So here's what you can expect. On April 27th, at the tour, we'll take 90 minutes for a power strategy session. That's where I'll talk about the Cleveland market, why we're here, where we're actually investing, the areas where we're staying away from, the current statistics of the area. We'll have a strategy session. Then we will introduce you to escrow and title and insurance agents and property management and contractors so that you know who's working behind the scenes for you. Then we're going to hop on a luxury bus and tour the areas and basically just really get into the trenches. Check out the properties that are just dirty dogs that we've turned into pretty dollhouses. You're going to see properties, you're going to get a fantastic on-the-grounds education, and then the opportunities that'll be presented that day. So today we've discovered some cool things about Cleveland, Ohio, and the importance of investing out of state, what real estate deals can look like there, and some of the ways to invest. So just to recap, we need to diversify. We need to step outside of our backyard where it makes number sense, where we can get the numbers to produce the income and the value and the wealth building ingredients that we're just not going to find where we currently live today. We also need to diversify in the product, buy houses, some small multi-units, and eventually graduate to larger complexes. We've also learned that Cleveland is a fun and offers great fundamentals in town and on the outskirts of town. There are ongoing investment opportunities, especially through Black Belt investors, because all of our properties are off market. Many people bring us properties, but it's on the MLS. Why would I want that? You're overpaying. We get properties that are off market. We cut out the middleman. Cleveland also offers the affordability, which is affordable to your pocketbook, to the tenant, and is also affordable to your next buyer so that you have exit strategy. And it's extremely profitable. If you purchased a property today for $60,000, we can go back to the peak of the market in 2006 for that same property and prove that it sold for $120,000. So you're getting properties about 50% below the peak value, which is phenomenal. Think about what your peak value was where you live today, what it became in 2010, and where we're at today. Has it changed? Yes, it has. And you saw that it quickly hit rock bottom and property values were extremely low, and then it was on this trek upward for a long time. Cleveland's real estate cycle is behind most other markets. So instead of being on the front of the roller coaster, getting to the peak of that hill, we're on the back of the roller coaster, still just starting to climb up that hill. That means we've got a lot of appreciation to collect along the way. It's not going to last forever. I don't know what many people are waiting for. You need to get your foot in the door now. And then Investors Tour can give you that front row seat so that you can get a mental map of Cleveland so you can see what you can get for 50 grand, 60 grand, 70 grand. You can see the type of apartments that we're investing in. You can see the neighborhoods and get a better comfortability about your investments. So here's the thing. If you want to learn more, then go to blackbeltinvestors.com, click on the Investing tab, and download my Remote Rehabs, How to Make Incredible Real Estate Returns in the Best Property Markets Without Having to Lift a Hammer. It's a nice, simple read. It's great, time to read on your break at work or bathroom materials. Also, we'd love to have you visit Cleveland, and you should, even if it's for a fun getaway. You can join the Ultimate Investors Tour by visiting blackbeltinvestors.com and go to the Events tab and check out our other upcoming events. Or you can always simply contact Black Belt Investors by giving us a phone call or sending us an email. That way we can get you on the list to get started. Now, what I'd like to do is just spend a few moments in answering any questions that you may have regarding the topic that I spoke about today. You should have a little chat box right there where you can type in your message, and I will click on it, read it out loud, and I will answer your questions for you. I'll give you a quick second to do that. It's a little, I believe on your end, it's a questions box. Okay, first question rolling in. Let me open it up here. Okay, first question is about the tour. Is there a fee for the tour? How do we work travel accommodations? Yes, great question. If you join the tour, it's $97 per person. It's $147 married couple, got to be married couple. And if you're a dojo member, then it's just $77 per person, but you'll have to call and register if you're a dojo member to get that $20 discount. So heck, if you guys are going to go on tour, you might as well just join the dojo right now, right? It's going to cost you $14.97, and then turn around and get $20 off. So you're already ahead of the game, aren't you? So that's how you can sign up. But, seating is limited, and we're only about a month away. Travel accommodations will be released once you are registered for the tour. We have blocked off discounted rooms downtown. They're very inexpensive. You would fly into Cleveland International Hopkins Airport. You don't have to rent a car. They actually have a train that leaves from the airport straight to downtown, about 2 blocks away from the hotel, and it only costs $2. So that's how you want to do it. So you can either go to the events tab there or just call into the office. Next question is any of this information in Spanish? Actually, let me open this up. It's not open all the way. Oh, there we go. Is any of this information in Spanish, or will there be someone on the tour to explain in Spanish? Actually, I wish I spoke Spanish. I should speak Spanish. I live in California, right? Shame on me. But no, this is not in Spanish. But if you need help, translation, no problem. We've got somebody that can help you with that. And on the tour, I can definitely connect you with someone that speaks Spanish. We will have a Spanish-speaking representative on the tour. Great question, by the way. Thank you for asking. All right, next question is the Investors Tour only open to married couples? No. $97 per person. You come by yourself, or a married couple is just basically a $50 discount if you bring your spouse. So no, it's open to everybody. In fact, I was going to say we've had people hook up on the tour, and start dating each other. That's happened in the past, so it can be a little fun too. But I'm not saying that's what you want to do, but I don't know why that popped in my mind, but it's true. We've had people hook up, but yeah, it's open to everybody. Yeah. Next question is, if Cleveland is on the back end and California is at standstill, likely coming down in value, concerned about future value in Cleveland? Why? Why would you be concerned? I kind of know where you're going with this, but doesn't every market go up and down? So does that mean you should never buy? If you get yourself a good deal today that allows you to collect appreciation in the next couple of years, that is cash flowing in double-digit returns, how are you going to lose? Even if you hold that property for the long term and you buy it for $60,000 and it climbs up to $100,000, and then the market turns and it drops back down to $60,000, are you still not making a cash flow? Did rents go up over the last 10 years that you held that property? So aren't you making more of a cash flow? See, buying at the right time also adds security. If your plan is, to buy, hold for a year and sell, you're going to be just fine. But if you are an investor like in the California market that is, waiting for the peak time to sell, well, you're still going to be able to sell your property today, but check out the MLS. You'll see that prices are dropping. It doesn't mean that the market's falling apart. It just means that people are now getting back to reality because we've been in an inflated market for so long. So I'm not sure where the concern would be. And if you're worried about value, that tells me that you're worried about appreciation, and that means your play is to buy and sell. Well, you've got a few years of appreciation. So if you wanted to buy today and sell 3 years from now, you're going to be able to cash in like a champ. But if you're going to buy and hold for the long term, like most of our investors, cash flow is the play. But the value will always come back up. His history shows us that over and over again. Okay, next question is, let me see, I lost my place. Here we go. Does the age of these properties concern you? Let me open that up. I'm sorry. Does the age of the properties concern you? Property taxes are high. No, it doesn't concern me. So let me tell you why. They're built better than our houses built today. Today, our houses are more energy efficient, leaning more towards the green. But how many people are buying new builds for investment properties? Hardly anybody, right? So you're buying properties that are older, probably has asbestos or lead paint. Well, so do these. And so they were built with redwood and not pine, better wood. They got block versus just stick. So they're actually built better. And the cool thing about these older houses when it comes to plumbing is that we don't have to rip into all the walls because all the plumbing is just above your head inside the basement. It's easy to reach to. So, of course, when you have older structures, things deteriorate, right? I'm not going to deny that. That's why you get a depreciation value when you buy property, is because you can depreciate the structure because it deteriorates. But when we go into a property, all properties must go through a city inspection. That means the city inspector is going to require us to bring everything up to code. And if there's something that is aged that's not going to last long, like maybe a roof, furnace, they're going to make us replace it. So we've got our bases covered. No, when it comes to a worry about older properties, absolutely not. Yes, the property taxes are high. Expect anywhere from 2% to 4.29%. But your property purchase is low. So it's a wash. Go to remoterehabs.com, click on the Cleveland tab, and you'll see all the numbers right there in front of you. Yes, taxes are high. That's also a tax deduction, by the way. However, the rents are high and the purchase price is low. So the numbers still produce a double-digit return. Thanks for the question, because those are really two really good questions. Okay, next question is, does the $97 include the flight ticket? I wish. No, it does not. The $97, boy, that would be amazing if we can get a flight and hotel and everything for $97. I have some power, but I don't have that type of power. But no, I'm sorry, it does not. It only reserves your seat on the bus. Travel arrangements are going to be on you. People are traveling from coast to coast to be there in Cleveland. And so whatever airport you fly out of, the sooner you get it, the better. And again, like I said, we have discounted rooms for the hotel if you're interested in that. And so, yeah, if you're going to do this, you definitely want to register first, get the travel information from my office, and then start booking your flights and your hotels to make sure that you're ready to go. But here's the cool thing about real estate, guys. What are we traveling to Cleveland for? Real estate. Where are we going to see real estate? As soon as we open our eyes, we see real estate, and that travel expense now becomes a tax deduction. So talk to your accountant, CPA, EA to make sure that you're able to write off this trip. Okay? All right, let me get to the next question. Here we go. So I'm going to take this as the final question, okay? I don't want to keep you guys too long. It's a work day. But the question is basically this. What is needed to get started to buy a property? That's a great question. So let me answer this. Number one, you got to decide what's affordable to you. So do you have the money to purchase a property all cash? Great. Then I would suggest buying it cash because I offer a cash discount when people come in with cash. If you don't have all cash to acquire a property, then you are going to have to come in with a down payment. And let me back up. That means you'll have to come in with lending, and we will put you with our lender. We only use our lender when it comes to purchasing our properties. Sorry, guys, we won't allow outside lenders. They make me waste time and make me waste money. So I'm not using outside lenders. So we would get you connected with our lender, and you would get pre-approved. And that way you can come in with a down payment. But a lot of our investors, what they do is they buy it all cash, get the cash discount, and then they turn around, and once the property is stabilized, they'll go to our lender and get a cash out refinance. They'll pull up to about 80% of its value out of that property and get their money back. And they'll turn around and buy another one, is what they do. So it's kind of what they call, the BRRRR method. You buy, repair, you rent, and then you refinance, and then you repeat is what you do, okay? But either way, if you want to get started, you got to figure out the affordability factor. Then we would set up a consultation to make sure that we're a candidate for each other, and we'll send you out a registration form. That registration form will tell you the process of how we work. It will also tell us how you're going to take title to that property. your mailing address so we can, make sure the county has a place to send out your deed and your tax statements and such. And then we also require an earnest money deposit. Once we receive the registration form and the earnest money deposit, then we will confirm receipt and we'll set you up on a second consultation. We don't have readily available properties to go for you guys. Everything is purchased to order. It's custom tailored to you is what it is, okay? And so with that, once we have that second consultation, I would say on average it takes us about 4 weeks to get the property that fits your criteria. Isn't that cool? And then with that, we close on it. And if you're buying all cash, we start the rehab. If you are coming in with a loan, we'll buy it, we'll fix it, and then you'll close it out through escrow using a loan. It's actually a fairly simple process, and we handle most of the grunt work for you. Okay? All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. I appreciate you spending your afternoon with me. If you have any questions, give us a call. Simply email us. And then also, you can just go to the events tab to learn more. We'd love to get connected with you. But that tour is only a month away. We don't do them very often, just twice a year. So join us coming April 27th. We look forward to seeing you there.